Epic Gaming Night is sponsored by Tasty Minstrel Games. Make sure to check out the Tasty Minstrel podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. This podcast is made possible by the support of patrons like you. Thanks for your support. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Canny, and with me as always is Rob!
Hello.
What's going on,
hello.
man?
Just working, bro. Just working. How about you? What's going on with you?
Pretty much the same. Like, work, and they want me to do more work.
Trying to get these hours in before we head off to Florida.
Exactly. That's basically what we're all doing.
I will be in Florida 1 week from today.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So, hey, if you're going to Dice Tower Con, make sure to hit us up. And the awesome thing is Matt's going with us at Dice Tower Con. I know we've been missing Matt on the show for like so long. We miss you so much, Matt. I know we've had like so many people in the comments and in the chat being like, "Where's Matt's beard at?"
Yeah,
but
or on our social media.
Exactly.
Hey, great picture. Is Matt coming back?
Exactly. Oh man,
love to know Matt's thoughts.
I definitely missed him on the D&D streams as well because I can't do that Australian accent quite as well.
No, the Australian accent you can't, and the accent's not that great either.
Just can't do any of the Australian stuff.
Nah, you're good, man.
What was I going to say? If you haven't checked out our episode of the Tales of Misplaced Meeples, we just did one last Sunday. Make sure to check that out. Super awesome. And I did a whole like map thing where they were like going through this map and stuff as they went around. It was really cool. I think everybody had a lot of fun. So
it was a blast. But I'll get into that
cool.
here in a minute.
But yeah, our episode today is going to be about table talk in board games. So before we do that, we can talk a little bit about news stuff.
The news.
I don't know if you have any other random stuff you want to add to the news, but one thing I'm excited about, which I'll talk about some in like what I've been playing, but I'm still super excited about Rune Wars. I know we talked on the show a lot about how it's dying. Today they just announced 2 new characters. They announced an elf hero and an elf unit.
Is it dying?
It does. I don't know. They're putting out so much stuff now, man.
Like, has Fantasy Flight finally learned to support themselves, or is Legion just doing not as hot, and so they're still promoting?
Well, obviously this is stuff they've had in the thing for a while, and an interesting thing is that whole time there was that giant lull of like any Rune Wars information. When they came back, the boxes were a different size. All the cards are big size cards now in the expansion, which I don't know if you know that or not. But like, you know, the upgrade cards? The upgrade cards are like big, like regular size cards.
Oh, they're not the little ones anymore?
Nope. So they changed up the card size, they changed up the box size, and I wonder if like them having to redesign and get that stuff printed that way might have slowed stuff down, but of course there was no communication about that at all. But I'm just excited. These 2 new units look really cool. One's like these Centaur dudes. They're like strikers or whatever, or skirmishers or sneakers or whatever they're called, something like that. They're cool because they're like archery, like cavalry guys, so they can like go fast but then also shoot people, and they can also get like they have an upgrade card where they can shoot from the side of them because they're like, I guess, shooting their bows or throwing their spears from the side.
That's fair, right?
I mean, it's an upgrade card, and it seems pretty cool. So then they'd have like 2.
Is it upgrade to only the elves?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it'd be nice to be able to shoot to the side with all the other people that shoot to the side.
Maybe someday we'll see something like that. And then their new elf leader guy, he's on like some sort of like crazy chicken bird looking thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my head out of the way.
Behind you?
Yeah, he's behind me. He's also like some sort of crazy chicken looking bird thing. And he's really cool because not only does like one of his attacks, he can just add a die like on the dial. It has like an extra blue die. Like, hey, dial in an extra blue die. You get an extra blue die.
And you get an extra blue die.
Whenever he moves, he can just automatically treat it like it's curved or whatever if he wants to. And whenever he does a 3-length move, instead of doing a 3-length move, he can just do 3 1-length moves, which means he can just like zigzag around the board, which is kind of silly. So he can like turn this way, then turn that way, then turn this way again, which could get you into like the perfect lineup to be able to attack somebody, which is pretty cool. So the elves are all about the maneuverability, which is part of the reason Rob was getting mad at the game, was because of the maneuverability.
Well, I hate that it takes so much effort to tell your guys to turn left. Just watch this, guys. You ready?
I think part of it too is you've been playing a lot of cavalry, and like horses are just not good at turning at all, you know. So
well, that and those like big rune golems who are like, whoa.
Yeah, that's one of the things people are really mad about the rune golems. Not only because like they go down real fast, but because because they just,
and then if
just
they
not
hit,
maneuverable at
you
all.
have to have the certain runes for them to hit.
Yep.
Type of a
I
stuff.
think
So
everybody that plays the game has abandoned them, which kind of stinks because they're called Rune Golems and the game's called Rune Wars. But that new leader, all of his stuff's about Rune Golems. Like he gives them extra hit points, he gives them extra special abilities. Like, so I'm excited to see what the Rune Golems do after that hero comes out.
I'm excited too, and I'm also excited that you're excited. Because well, I mean, it definitely helps when you have a friend who's like, "Hey, man, we need to do this," rather than just like playing by yourself. But so I'm excited. I'm definitely going to pick up the new human stuff. I don't know if I'll pick up any of the other stuff, which I won't need to, because if anybody's been on Instagram, if you haven't seen Roy's
Madness
shelf, which is awesome, by the way,
it's
Rune War stuff. Like last time I was at your house, you had some stuff, right?
Well, I mean, I've had it. It's just been sporadically all over the place.
Well, yeah, box. I didn't see it all, and then I saw those shelves, and I was like, oh my gosh. And now at Dice Tower Con, we're doing a 4 different 100-point army. I mean,
and we're going to be playing with Dan.
I knew you when you were just the undead.
Yeah, we're going to be playing with Matthew Jude and Dan Hughes, which are contributors to Board Game Breakfast. So super excited. If you know like Dan and Cora, Dan always loves it when he's only recognized because of his daughter, so... But we're going to be playing a game of Rune Wars with them. It'll be super fun. We're just going to pick a different faction each and just duke it out. I think I'm going to do like a King of the Hill thing, because there's one terrain where if you do a skill action, you get like 10 points while you're on it. So it's like, hey, get into the terrain that's in the middle of the board, and you can get extra points. Or just beat up each other to get points. It should be fun.
How do you do what's a special skill action?
It's just that little symbol, like the skill action symbol. So a bunch of the different units can take that. So you have to just dial that in, and you can get extra points. Or you can just get points by killing the other people, But yeah, I know some of you are not as big into Rune Wars, but if you're at all interested in miniatures games, I think it's worth checking out. I feel like it's underrated. And they're continuing to make stuff. That was our main complaint.
Or just text Roy. He'll come to your house with like his
not even
massive,
joking.
closet of stuff, and then jump on board with me with the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. Dude, that's what Song of Ice and Fire needs now, is some announcements of some new stuff.
They will.
Come on.
They will. I mean, they have to release their base stuff first.
Yeah.
Like, that has to happen, and hopefully it happens soon. I don't think my stuff will be in before Dice Tower Con. It's going to really stink if I get the email like, oh, your package has been delivered, like on Wednesday, like the day I arrive at Dice Tower. Like, that'll be terrible because I want to take it with me. But anyway, I'm excited. I think miniature games are cool. If you like strategy games, you should check them out. And especially if you like X-Wing and other stuff like that, I think you'll really like Rune Wars, because it's like Battle Lore meets X-Wing, and then they made a game in the Rune Wars universe.
It's funny. I've talked to a lot of people too, and they're like, "Yeah, I've played Legion and I played Rune Wars, and like Rune Wars is just mechanically more solid." So I think it's kind of interesting. So.
Have you heard anything though about Legion? Like, I remember all the hype when it came out.
I think the hype
I'm not seeing pictures of it online. I'm not seeing anybody. Like, I thought the people on Rune Wars would have jumped on it, but I'm not seeing like a lot of the people.
And then they immediately bailed ship and went right back to Rune Wars, just because of the mechanics. But it's cool. It's cool.
That's I don't know. I mean, but that's a big miss. That's a big IP to miss on.
I'm sure they're going to continue to work on it and continue to make stuff for it. So
yeah,
nice.
Anyway, Rune Wars. Hey, do you know what day we're playing that game?
No, we can try to figure it out.
We'll
I
announce it
wouldn't mind
because I
playing
imagine
it.
some people may want to walk by,
Yeah, I wouldn't
watch you
mind
wreck
playing
us.
it one of the earlier days too, because my Thursday is like slammed. But other than that, I should be able to fit things in wherever, whenever, you know. Cool. So, Rob made up a thing we've talked about on the podcast a few times now. At Dice Tower Con, we're going to be trying to do a scavenger hunt.
We're not going to be trying. We're going to be doing a scavenger hunt, sir.
And we're going to have prizes for it, which makes it worth doing, you know. I have Way of the Panda and Harbor that we're going to give away. I don't know if you have any specific things you want to announce, or maybe we'll have more. Maybe I can get a picture of all of the stuff together. We're going to be trying
I don't know if
away.
I'm going to give away all the things that I texted you.
Oh, well, of course not. That's insane.
We could use some of these. But one of the things that I don't know. I'll do this in chat. In chat, I'll make the announcement by the end of the night. But if you could have Dice Forge
That's a
or
solid game.
the Game of Thrones Iron Throne game with the expansion,
That's super solid. Ooh.
which one would you rather have? I think
know what I
I'll
would
do the
rather have.
Meeple. I think I may do the Meeple one too. I'm pretty sure I'll do like the Meeple War game by Kumani or not.
So the way
These are still in strength, but in chat, I'm not giving away my chair. Never give away my chair. But are you more interested in Dice Forge or Game of Thrones: The Iron Throne with the expansion?
Which is Cosmic Encounter Game of Thrones edition.
Yeah.
If you
And the
if you're not
expansion
in the
adds
know.
a 6th player, I believe.
I just want to play
Fifth
that.
and sixth player.
If you win that game from us, you have to play it with us. That's the rules.
Yes.
Oh man, what was I gonna say? But yeah.
Do you want to go over what the different scavenger stuff is?
We can talk about some of that. We'll. I think we should print out some of them and have those ready, and so people can grab those from us if they want, or we'll have a link to it so they can print out themselves.
Yeah.
And then.
So we've got 20 different items.
Do you know when because you're leaving Saturday, right?
I'm leaving Saturday afternoon.
Cool. So Saturday morning, everybody needs to get their scavenger hunt paper things with their scores back to us, so that way we can figure out who got the highest score. And
What are
gets
we
to
doing
pick
Friday
from the
night?
Prizes. Friday night, hanging out. There's several.
What
Dice
if we
Tower
did
things, but I don't
what
know
if
what's
we
going
did
on
like a
Friday.
get together on Friday night, and if you want to win, you got to come turn in, your points this time, and afterwards, like we play a big game of like wits and wagers, or like Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, or something like that.
We can do that too.
With all the people that did the scavenger hunt. What do you think about something like that?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We have to figure it out. Make sure to follow us on our social media and stuff like that, because we'll be tweeting out and posting.
Yes, this will be more refined by next week.
We've been working a lot.
we love board game media, but we do have families and other things going on. So I'll run through these real quick. Some of these may seem a little cheesy to you guys, but whatever. I think they're kind of cool. And I'm going to go off. They're based off of points. So you get 5 points if you take a picture of yourself playing Mansions of Madness, which is my favorite game. You get 5 points if you take a picture of playing Dead of Winter, which is one of Matt's top favorite games. You get 5 points if you take a picture of yourself playing Twilight Imperium 4. You also, if you take a picture of at least 5 of our favorite games all stacked together, right? So even if that means you go to the board game library and you're just like, hey, can you hand me that stack of like Zaya, TI4, Dead of Winter, Game of Thrones, Tales of Arabian Nights,
I'm so excited that the first thing you said was Zaya.
You know.
Are you coming around? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not coming around. I'm not. And so you'll get 5 points for that for an epic picture. Also, you'll get 5 points if you make a quick video of you rolling a D20 and getting 20 points. So you got to roll a D20. If you get a 20, you get 5 points.
But it has to be a video, so you can't just set it on there.
Yeah,
so I don't know how many tries it's going to take.
We got to see you do that. If you make a quick video of you trying to pay for something using board game currency, you get 5 points. So like you go to the gas station or you go to the concession stand. If you pull out Monopoly money or you pull out like coins from a game and you try to pay with that at first. And of course, pay for real money. Pay with real money. But if you try that, I think that's funny. You'll get 5 points.
Rob's
If you take a photo with a Mickey Mouse, it can be a real Mickey or even a fake stuffed toy. Like go to the gas station, see a picture of Mickey Mouse somewhere on somebody's T-shirt. You take a photo of you and Mickey Mouse, you get 5 points. If you take a picture with Roy, 5 points. Picture with me, 5. Picture with Matt, 5. If you take a picture with the entire EGN crew, 10 points. If you play a game with an EGN crew member or all of the EGN crew, you get 10 points. If you win that game, you get an additional 5 points. If you bring an EGN member a drink of their choosing, non-alcoholic, like in the morning, if you bring me a cup of coffee, 10 points. If you bring Roy a Mountain Dew, 10 points.
I don't drink
Probably
Mountain Dew anymore.
Matt, Mountain Dew, 10 points. And also, all these are one-time things. You can't keep bringing me coffee and just like stack up on points. It's a
I can
one
just
time.
imagine like just a stack.
Oh, bro. I can see somebody bringing you like a 12-pack and like, here's 120 points. Like, no. If you make an Instagram video tagging EGN playing a game between 2 and 4 a.m. at Dice Tower Con, you get 10 points. So if you're up super late playing a game at
2
Dice Tower
a.m.
Con,
super late?
between 2 and 4 a.m., you have to tag us on Instagram at that time because we'll be able to see, the stamp at that time. You'll get 10 points for that because I totally love the idea.
Shoot the video
staying up
and then
all
post
night.
it.
If
Make sure you have a watch in the picture as well.
Well, I mean, won't it say on Instagram when it was posted?
Yeah, but they could shoot a video and then post it in the middle of the night.
That's a good idea. I'll add that in there. You have to prove that it was X.
Just hold up a watch or hold up your phone or hold up somebody else's phone with the time. Holy smokes, it's late.
If you bring Matt a piece of edible, clean, and still packaged cheese, 15 points.
Because cheese is life.
Matt and cheese is life. It is life. So, yeah, if you bring Matt a piece of edible, clean, and still packaged cheese, I don't want to just say a piece of cheese because I could see just one person walking around with a piece of floppy cheese in their hand. Here you go, Matt. Like, no, come on. Let's be a little sanitary.
Amby, you should win our TI4 game. That would be awesome.
If you take 5 pictures of Roy, at least 1 hour in between shots, but he cannot know you're taking the picture of him. So it's like
I
awkward.
forgot you put this on there.
Take 5 pictures of Roy at least 1 hour in between shots without him knowing or looking at the camera. You get 15 points.
That's so creepy.
Right? So it's just going to be really awkward. Like, oh, there's Roy. Take a picture of him. You got to do at least 5, and they got to be an hour in between. But if you do that, oh man, if you get audio of Isaac calling me Roy, you win. You just win. That's so mean, Adam. It's hilarious, but it's so mean.
Sadly, Isaac's not going to be there. Whoa.
Yeah, he's not going to be there because he was going to take me to his favorite barbecue place in the board game Geek Con in Dallas. Anyway, I'm still hurt. I'm not bitter. I'm just hurt. We're almost done. If you take a picture with me while you're holding a sign of your favorite real or fake wood smelling cologne. You guys know when we do Patreon, we're always talking about, wood smelling cologne, and we're always making up funny little names. So if you can even write it on like an 8.5 by 11 little white sheet of like your favorite wood smelling cologne, whatever it is.
People write down notes. 8.5 by 11. Okay.
Right. I mean, you can make it big if you want, but just like whatever your favorite wood smelling cologne, make it up like Lumberjack's Paradise or whatever you want it to be. You get 15 points. On Friday, while at the convention, make your own favorite game Friday video sharing your favorite moment of the EGN show through the years. If you do this, you get 20 points. And this is one of those things where it's like, for a lot of our patrons, they've been around for a long time. And so if there was a topic that we talked about a long time ago, like if your thing is like the whole Greek economy, which I'll never forget that. I absolutely love that rant. If you make like a video of your favorite game Friday, here's my favorite part, or here's one of my favorite things, you get 20 points. Here's number 19. make a quick video of you yodeling. You have to yodel.
What? Was that on there before?
Very loudly. EGN. So it's like EGN. And while you do this, one of us has to be in the vicinity. We may not be looking, but if you come up behind us and then you just start yelling EGN, have one of your friends film that, you get 20 points.
We're gonna have like the cringiest audience ever.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. And then the last one, if you film an epic finale to a game you're playing, like let's say it comes down to a decision or it comes down to something crazy, if you film it and we get to see it, that's worth 20 points. However, the epicness is to be determined by an EGN cast member. What may be epic to you is kind of like to us, and we're not being rude, we're just being honest. So
do you have this in a Google Doc, or was it just in a Word file?
It's in a Word doc. I know we may change a couple things and then probably post it on Instagram. But it's funny, simple stuff. I wanted a lot of it to be, us and games and other stuff related. And
nice.
So I didn't want people spending a lot of money on stuff, like a couple creative stuff. One thing I want to do, what? And it's not part of the scavenger hunt. I think it'd be really fun, like if we met at midnight and we all played a game of Mansions of Madness dressed as our favorite character, and like that's the character we had to play in the game.
Yeah, I don't have time to try to figure out a costume, but that would be fun.
I don't have time either, but I just thought that'd be kind of fun.
I could just get a lab coat and be Agatha Crane, because Agatha Crane's the best.
I just thought that'd be a lot of fun. But anyway, I want to do stuff like that. I want to play
spray paint my hair white
weekend. Like that's what I plan on doing. Here's our scavenger hunt. If you like it, great. If you don't, well, thanks for putting up with us and listening to us. You don't have to participate. We are giving away games. We are going to be giving away dice. We at this con just want to hang out with you guys. We want to play with you guys. We just want to be silly. Yeah. We're not trying to embarrass you. We're not trying to make you feel uncomfortable at all. If any of these items are, too much for you, like some people are really introverts, they may not want to go around yelling EGN. Don't do it. I don't expect everybody or even one person to complete all of them. But still, I just thought it'd be funny, simple stuff. Yeah. And we'll go from there. But we're really excited to hang out with you guys.
Nice. Awesome. And we're also trying to figure out what's in the works for a meetup. I know it's still kind of in the air. We're trying to partner a little bit too with Board Game Blitz for that. So we'll definitely be sending out information on that. Ambi's in chat tonight, so hype. She's trying to figure out how many of these things she can do during our Twilight Imperium 4 game. She's trying to take candid pictures of me during our game.
I just love that. Like if I could see, if I could see you just like awkwardly, just like, oh,
I'm just not going to stop looking at you, Ambi. You can't get a candid picture if I don't stop looking at you.
It's going to be great.
Toby's like, what's wrong with you, Roy?
Somebody will take a picture of you looking creepily at Ambi, and that'll be like their picture.
Their picture. Yeah. I guess I can't look at everybody at once. Dang it.
Yeah. So anyway.
Silly. Awesome, guys.
Good times.
Awesome. Also, make sure to, on Saturday, there's going to be some other interesting, crazy announcements, so make sure to check that out. I'm going to be putting a video up on the Dice Tower and lots of other interesting video things, so make sure to check that out. We'll post it on our social media. If you're not following us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, we're at Epic Gaming Night on all of those. You'll be able to check it out if you check out any of those. So, hype.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
And if you're playing a game, just tag us on something. If we're available, we're not going to be able to play with everybody, but if we're available and we're not doing anything, don't be afraid to ask us to play a game or something. I plan on bringing
several of those like games that can have a lot of people, like Deception and Crossfire and things like that.
Well, I was going to bring my Deception because I have the expansions. Do you have the expansions?
Your Deception. I'll bring Crossfire. I'll try to bring several different things that can.
I'm going to bring Strike. I'm going to bring my big Wits and Wagers Vegas with my Vegas poker chips.
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
So a lot of things we can fit lots of people so we can play with a bunch of you guys at the same time.
Yeah.
Even though I know everybody wants to play Twilight Imperium 4 with us. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't.
Rob's like, not at a convention. I'm already playing Twilight Imperium 4. I can't play it more than once.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. My big game that I want to... did you get one of the new copies of Strike Ambi? Is that one of the new ones?
The new game isn't out yet. I think it comes out in September, like the Elements game. Did you see that?
Uh-uh.
There's
I know they're coming out with another printing. I have the French version.
Oh, nice.
Because they didn't even have the English version, and I spent way too much money on it. But it was the best overinvestment I think I've ever done in my life. I play that all the time. I play that game all the time. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome. I was kind of mad because Gary and a couple other people were making fun of Strike when Ambi's like, I'm bringing Strike. I'm like, I'll play Strike with you, Ambi. So I was like, get out of here. They were like dice in a bowl. I'm like, get out.
I was thinking about bringing Happy Salmon too.
Nice.
Well, I have
you have both
copies.
sets, right? That goes up to how many people? 12?
Well, I think the regular version is 6, so if I bring both, it'll be 12 because they're all different colors.
Nice.
So anyway, I don't know. I'm excited, but I also want to play I do want to play Mansions of Madness. I was going to ask you if you could bring your copy because I know you have like that carrying case system now.
Yeah.
Should I bring my Zombicide
get
Black
the
Plague
trunk.
with like all my stuff?
I mean, it's up to you. You just got. I mean, you always have to find like people to play it and set it all up. I'm bringing several big games, so
We'll talk.
I'm definitely bringing Heroes of Lander and Sea, and I know a lot of people are excited about Heroes.
Oh, I'm bringing Champions Midgard with all my stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh man, are you bringing Rising Sun?
I don't know. I'm sure there'll be.
I may
copies
bring
of it
some
there.
cool Mini or Not games where you bring some Fantasy Flight games. Because, I mean, I trust you. If you want to borrow my copy of a game,
Yeah,
you can
for
take
sure.
my copy, go play, and vice versa. And if you don't trust me, I'm leaving the show right now.
We've played each other's games enough to be able to build up that trust.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Anyway, I'm so excited, guys. Like, I'm beyond excited. Super pumped.
Hype. Cool. So, hey, it's been a second, so let's talk about what we've been playing.
You can go first.
You want me to go first? So one of the things I did is I played in a Rune Wars tournament. This was actually a regionals, so like it was kind of random. Like I decided to go to this like super last minute, like literally like the day before, because
you texted me.
I thought it was like already happened, and then I got an email that was like, "Oh, Rune Wars tournament." And I'm like, I'm not actually doing anything this Saturday. I should go to that. Like, it's a regionals. They have a lot of good prizes there. So I went, and I mean, I got a bunch of promos just for showing up, pretty much. But it was a lot of fun. The Rune Wars community. I went to Atomic Empire, which is in Durham, which is like an hour and 15 minutes from my house. But I wish I could go there more often because it's an amazing game store. We've talked about it on the show a bunch of times. But the community there for Rune Wars is like super nice, and everybody you could tell was just super excited about all the new unit announcements and stuff like that. Like Rune Wars is back alive. But we had 7 players, and it was a lot of fun. I played a very random army, was just a bunch of archers and worms, but it was fun. I got to shoot people down and chase people down with worms. I played against the new faction for the first time, the Athukulon Demon guys, and they tore me to shreds.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even close. Like, they trampled me. So, I got the lowest score possible. They got the highest score possible.
That happened to me.
Yeah, it was
Did you
rough.
have to sit out a round?
No, I got to play all 3 rounds, but that was the last round where that happened, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun when that happens. When you just get wrecked and you can't do anything about it. Like, what did they do? Like, are they hard to disengage, or like do they move fast?
Honestly,
like,
I think some of the guys you should just probably stay away from. Like, literally, it's not worth going up against them because
they're big guys.
Yeah, they're big spine thresher. So they had like a like Death Star, which is the term that people use when you put like the max amount of trays you can for something. So just a whole bunch of their spine threshers with the Ravos guy in the middle of it. The thing that's really hard about that is that he automatically deals a wound to a unit within one of him every turn. So if you stay away from him, he'll have to deal damage to himself. But he'll never like hurt himself that bad with that many units in there because there's like a million units. But they don't have very high defense. And I ended up killing like half of the thing, but it was just a bunch of archers. So they ate through my archers real quick. Every time she was attacking, she would roll like 12 damage. And 12 damage is a lot. So it was roughing me up pretty bad. But I had a lot of fun. I just didn't know, like, oh, you should stay away from these guys, and you should probably just try to do other things or try to back away. They're also really mobile and really fast. So, like, all their units can move really far, and they have, like, little extra movements. So, like, they have these, the Flesh Rippers. They automatically move one forward every turn. So no matter what you do, they have to keep moving. So they just move one forward, move one forward, move one forward. You can get upgrades that allow them to turn during that move. So
you need an upgrade to turn.
Well, I mean, they get a free movement. You have to get an upgrade to get a free turn on them. So it makes them even more mobile, because then they get to dial in what they want to go from there. So it's kind of interesting, because these guys can, like, jump into terrain, and normally when you leave terrain, you have to, like, sit there for a turn. These guys automatically leave terrain, and then they can move and go jump and attack you. And when you leave the terrain, you can leave it from any side you want. So they're just all sorts of mobile and all sorts of all over the place. And I'd never played against them, so I got trampled. But it was fun. It was fun, like, learning what they could do. But yeah, definitely a fun game. And I did pretty good my first couple games. My second game, it was kind of like in the middle. Like, it's always rough when you have those games where you just both destroy each other's guys a bunch.
Yeah.
But I got to see your frustration, Rob, because he had Morrow just bringing people back over and over and over, because undead versus undead. So
yeah, it's not a lot of fun. We'll see. Well, I know we're gonna play at Dice Tower Con. I'm still super hyped for Song of Ice and Fire. We'll be those friends. You'll be my Rune War friend, and I'll be your Song of Ice and Fire friend. And you just keep acquiring that stuff. I'll acquire all the other stuff.
Nice.
And I don't know if I'll acquire as much as you're acquiring, but we'll see.
I got some pretty daggone good deals, because honestly, all the doom and gloom around the game made it pretty easy to get a hold of some of the stuff. So, but now everybody's all excited about it again, so we'll see. Awesome. Well, what did you get a chance to play, Rob?
I got to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
I've just been so busy with work because I'm getting ready to go. It's just so I've been slammed trying to get all this stuff taken care of and trying to make sure my clients and all their appointments and stuff are taken care of. So that way when I'm gone, it's not like I'm answering my phone the whole time. But no, we did our game session on Sunday with Dungeons and Dragons. And again, man, Dogmite Games and the quality of their stuff is just absolutely amazing. If you guys don't know, they are a sponsor for our D&D show, and they send us like this awesome dice and trays and stuff like that. They're amazing. But it was a lot of fun. We actually had our first Patreon join us in the game. We had James Fitzgerald. He joined us on the Patreon, and man, the dude's just really good at D&D. He was so good. I thought him and Roy had set up something where he was like the evil bad guy, because like he was just like really smart. And I'm not saying that the other people in our group are not smart. We have very smart people, but like in the middle of taking care of some stuff, he'd be like, "Oh, well, what if we did this?" And it's exactly what we needed to do. It was like, oh man. So that was a blast playing with James and the show and everything like that. And it just seems like we're all like coming together. And just it was fun. I'm enjoying that game, and I'm getting excited for Kids on Bikes. I don't know, just playing that is getting me more excited for role playing, because I've never done role playing before. And I don't know, I'm excited to try Kids on Bikes, and I don't know, that could be like another thing that we do. Just like a quick runoff or something.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because we have a group, like Adam's played role-playing games a bunch, but like you and Crystal are sort of new to role-playing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting dynamic of people. I'm interested to see what it's going to be like when somebody else takes over the DM slot and I get to actually play as a player. So that'll be kind of fun too. Because I have my character, but I can't like figure things out because I know all the things. So,
yeah.
So good times.
It's funny. Mark's all excited about, Trevor one of our friends. He's going through like a purge right now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Selling a bunch of games, but I
Yeah,
would
that's
just
not
put
new.
in chat. Well, no, over half of what he sells, he'll have bought back before the end of the year. Like I think he's bought Blood Rage 3 or 4 times now. I love him to death, but he's just like, yeah, I played it, I liked it. All right, I'll buy it. All right, I'll sell it. All right, I'll buy it. I mean, Trevor's a beast. I really do enjoy him in his company, and he's a good guy. In fact, I'm doing an escape room with him Thursday night at Dice Tower Con, but it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Kids on bikes, though, Adam. Kids on bikes, we're doing it. We're throwing down. We're gonna be little kids. I'm excited to get scared. Like I want something creepy to pop out. So
Nice.
anyway, that's been it for me, man.
Awesome. Cool.
Hey.
Cool.
You excited? You sound really excited right now. Are you excited? You ready?
Oh, I'm excited for Dice Tower Con. It'll
No, just life in general.
or just life in general.
Just life in general.
Yeah, life in general is pretty good. Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Lots of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I don't think there's anything else really crazy I played. I talked last week about our Carcosa campaign for that, and me and Trevor continuing to play that. So, but yeah.
Oh,
times.
do we want to announce about the show being early next week?
Yes, definitely. We're gonna try to do the show on Sunday night. This coming week, since we're gonna be out of town for Dice Tower, and that'll be the last show before Dice Tower Con, and it'll be a little bit early. So maybe we'll have other crazy announcements there. We'll see. We'll have more of these things together. So if you're driving down to Dice Tower, make sure to download the show because it should be up by
You're not
Monday.
working Sunday night, are you?
No, I don't work. I don't work on Sunday nights. So,
Okay.
So
Well, I know you work like every other night except for that and Tuesday, so I just didn't know.
Well, I don't work Saturday nights, but yeah, I don't work week. I work all the weeknights.
Okay.
Someday I would really love to go back to day shifts because nights are like the worst thing ever. But you know, be fine.
I know Matt's going through that right now.
Exactly. But hey, good times. Awesome.
Boom.
Well, our topic today is about table talk. Something me and Rob both love to do. So,
We do.
how do you feel about table talk while playing board games, Rob?
For the most part, I'm for it. For the most part, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Big fan of table talk, but I'm also a big fan of table talk if it's relevant to the game.
Yeah.
Like at first, like when you first start a game, like okay, table talk, like yeah, hi, how are you, type of a thing. But like, all right, about 10 to 20 minutes into the game, like let's concentrate on the game, right? Like the little stuff. But I love table talk. If I'm not talking at the table, it's because I'm like super concentrating at something, or I'm just not into the game. And you'll be able to tell by my face if I'm into the game or not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, I love table talk, and I use it as strategy too. But I know we'll get into that later.
Yeah, I think part of like the reason that we even became friends in the first place was the table talk we had during our very first game we ever played of goodness gracious, why'd my brain just
Sheriff
stop?
of Nottingham.
Sheriff of Nottingham. I like looked at it on the wall and couldn't say the name. Sheriff of Nottingham. When it's just
Should I
like,
bring that? I may bring that to Dice Tower Con.
I would love to play with the expansion. I haven't tried that yet, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have that in the library times like 30. But yeah, Sheriff of Nottingham is one of those games that's just like can be a lot of fun with the whole negotiation and table talk in it. So
That's the only way it's fun for me.
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
play that game and you don't do crazy negotiations, don't play with me. And I don't mean that to be rude. I'm just saying, as my personality, I like the craziness of what that game could be. And because the rules are so broad and generic where you just can negotiate, I negotiate the craziest stuff. I'll negotiate Roy's hair. I don't even have access to Roy's hair, but I'll just throw it in there. Look, you don't open up my packet, I'll let you dye Roy's hair whatever color. I don't have that authority, but I'll still offer it. I like to do the craziest stuff. That's games like that. Like, you have to do table talk, and I think that's one of like Matt's problems with the game, because when he played, they really didn't do table talk. It was just one of those 3 cheese, okay.
Oh, didn't
like,
he play it like without us at one point or something?
I've never played with Matt.
Yeah.
I've never played with Matt, but I mean, I even make up stuff. I pay people not to open up my bag.
Yeah. Sometimes you should pay people not to open up your bag when you want them to open up your bag, and it's the best.
Oh, and then when they do it, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite thing in that game is to make people think I'm lying, and then when they pop over the bag, I'm completely truthful, and it's a lot of fun. So, but now I threw away my strategy. Dang it. Do you normally talk to your opponents while playing games? I think we already answered this pretty much.
Yes. And if I am talking to you, I'm also trying to throw you off. Or I'm trying to negotiate with you.
What about like in a tournament setting, like when you played Magic tournaments and things like that, or when you're playing a head-to-head 2-player game? Are you still engaging and talking with your opponent a lot, or is it serious down to business?
If I'm playing Ashes with Mark Kale,
if I'm trash talk the whole time.
I am talking so much smack, which it's not very long because our games don't last very long. Because I wreck them so bad. I love it. But typically, like if I'm doing like a competition, like when I was doing Magic, like I would go to those tournaments and stuff. I wouldn't talk so much, because I was like competing. But like now, and I don't know if it's because I had kids, which I think a lot of it is because I've had kids. But like now, I don't care so much if I win. Like, my life is okay if I don't win this game. Like, it's gonna be all right. So I don't try to get as serious unless like the game is just like a deep, serious game. But yeah, no. Yeah, I think nowadays if I were to play those games, I'd probably talk, and I'd probably also talk to distract them, like ask them what their social.
I don't do it like that, but
oh,
I'd go to Magic tournaments and I would just friendly conversation with the person across the table, or like just joking around, like, "Oh man, I hope you don't play a board wipe now." And it's funny because some people would be nice and talk to you back, and some people would like
give you that look like, "Don't talk to me."
Why are you talking to me, man? Like, we're supposed to, you're my enemy, or like, are you trying to suss information out from me? And I'm not really like trying to figure out their game. I'm just trying to be nice and like have fun playing the game. Like, one of the main reasons that I play these games is for the social interaction. And if we're so deep in the competition that we can't have the social interaction, it's kind of like, man, that's annoying. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting. I actually went to a Hearthstone like fireside gathering, because you know what Hearthstone is. It's like the computer game, but everybody was playing on like their tablets and iPads, and people brought laptops. And I was sitting across the room from a guy, table talking with him about our game. I was like, "Oh man, don't do it, man, don't do it!" And he's just over there just smirking at me. He's not talking back. I'm just talking to everybody in the room.
Oh, but he was talking to you though. His body language, he was talking.
He was just
to
like,
you.
eh. But it was.
Those
funny
are the best too. When you can get an introvert to smile.
I'm so used to playing board games and having that social interaction and talking with people that I'm playing, that even when we play this video game, I still want to have that interaction. We're all in the same room. Like, that's the part that makes it really fun, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Do you trash talk while playing games?
Depends
Robert
on who
Newman?
I'm playing with.
Never.
Depends on who I'm playing with, and it depends on what we're playing.
Know your audience?
Yeah. Now, if I'm playing with people I've never met before, but we're playing a silly game, I'll trash talk silly. Like what? You're not going to do that. Like, just like silly stuff where it comes off, or at least to me, it comes off like, okay, if you believe I'm being serious, you need to calm down. Like, yes, I'm chill. But like, for example, because Mark is saying yes, so much so. When we played Thief, bro, I had known Mark, and I played with the guy in red that Mark got married to. But I never played with Mark's wife before. I never played with Joe, the guy who sat beside me. And I never played with Brian, I believe, was the guy to my other side. But I was talking so much trash. Because they were also having a lot of fun, and they were comfortable with each other. And so it was like one of those games where everyone was comfortable, I guess, a little bit with each other, except for me, because they didn't know me. But I was just right in there with them. Man, like Joe at one point, Joe and I, we were cracking each other up. We were having a good time. But it was fun. It all just depends. And I do trash talk when I play Haba games. That is true. I will trash talk, and I will try to mess you up trying to play Super Rhino Hero.
Dude, what was it? Like, literally,
we were mean to each other during that game.
In our review of Super Rhino Hero, I'm standing on top of a chair, and you can hear Rob going, "Don't mess up, Roy. Don't mess up. Don't mess up." And I go, Rob, and then the whole thing falls down.
Yeah.
I'm like, just give me a break for half a second, man.
Not at all. Do you see these bananas for fingers? At that game, I'm already at such a disadvantage. I can't tell you how many times I've knocked over stuff because, especially on the original Rhino Hero, you put that Rhino in there super deep. There's no way I'm getting that Rhino out without knocking something over. So I've got to do what I got to do. All right, here's a good question. Have you ever had someone get ticked at you because you did your usual trash talk and they didn't know your nature? You want to answer that, Roy? Or, I mean, I'll definitely answer as well.
For me, I don't actually I don't really do the trash talk. I do more about like the game strategy talk. Like, we should do this, we should do that. But Rob's more of the like, gonna smash you kind of thing, which is not necessarily my jam as much. I feel like sometimes people already think that I'm gonna smash them, so I try to downplay that as much as possible most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, guys, I'm not gonna smash you. Please don't gang up on me, please.
But you're doing that as strategy,
right?
Because you are gonna smash everybody, and you're just like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this. Oh, I just won by 47 points.
I wish. I lose games so much these days. Don't have time to focus on them. But yeah,
I have had people, get upset with me. Because there are just some people who don't want to be talked to, don't want. I have gotten better to reading people.
Yeah.
I've always been pretty good at reading people. If I'm talking to you and I can see that you just don't want to talk, then I generally, after like a couple lines, after a couple like, hey, how are you doing? I'll pretty much leave you alone. But, if you start to like laugh or give or, you talk back, then, I'll get into a little bit more. But especially if you're someone I don't know, I don't try to cross a line.
Yeah, for
too
sure.
Crazy.
You trash talk your friends or people that.
Well, and sometimes
your new friends,
Or like I said, like I try to know my table. Like if I see two friends trash talking and I'm friends with one of them and not the other one, then I may take a jab at the one I don't know, see that they're kind of comfortable with it, and if they react in a pleasant way where it's like, okay, they're cool with it, because sometimes people are okay with just trash talking with just their friends and not with anybody else. They're like, you don't know me. Shut your face. And they are, and I get that. So it's one of those things where I try to feel it out, but I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's game. I'm not trying to ruin the experience. I like to goof around and be silly and goofy. And a lot of times when I do trash talk,
it's in a really light game for the most part, right?
Yeah, yeah. And most of the time it is a really like Rhino Hero Super Battle. That's when I actually do most of my terrible stuff, and that's a kid game. And it's all just silly. It's like what Roy said.
And it's never at that point where it's like the malicious thing where it's like,
oh yeah, I'm not attacking anybody.
You won the game, and then you're like, I won. Take that. You guys all stink. No, not. It's not like that. It's not the same thing.
And you played a bunch of me. I've never done that, Roy.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
because there could be people out there that do that, but I haven't run into that kind of stuff that much.
And the other thing is,
game group.
Ian is right. When you do trash talk, or just talk loud at the table, you end up becoming everybody's target.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I remember, I haven't played Cash and Guns in a while, but I would always like explain the rules, and I'd start like goofing around, like, oh man, I'm gonna be the mafia boss, and I'm gonna shoot you. Typically, I'm dead before the game ends.
I hate in Cash and Guns that I remind everybody who has the most money, and then they shoot at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, remember, Phil has the most money right now. You should be pointing. They're like, I don't remember how much money everybody has. Roy probably has the most money because he's talking. I'm like, no, you win that game if you're super quiet half the time.
Netters is in chat. What's up, Netters?
Netters hype. But yeah, good times. How do you feel about like negotiation in board games, or the table talk aspect of negotiation?
Love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I like the idea of being able to manipulate the game, and that's exactly what negotiation is. Roy, let's get on a team, and let's try to win. Blah blah blah. I absolutely love negotiation.
Yeah.
And so it's just, especially also when we played Thief, like they have a whole thing where you turn in a coin to actually leave the table. Like you're not just negotiating, you're leaving the table. Oh, every single time somebody left the table, I was like, all right, guys, they just left the table. Now we have to kill them. I would negotiate with all the people that were left. And Mark can back me up on that because like every time they left, even when Mark's wife left, I was like, all right, so we got to kill her and we got to kill him. Well, now what are we gonna do? All right, so you attack her. You got to do this because they're gonna try to do something. But yeah, I love negotiation. It's just fun. It's just fun for me. It's fun at least.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Cosmic Encounters is one of my favorite games just because it's fun to like try to talk everybody into manipulating the board where there's a chance for me to win somehow, because that's half of what you have to do is like, please let me be your ally. Let's ally together. We're at the same level. And I'm always like, we're at the same level now. We can get to the next same level and we can continue to be allies. Let's do this.
That's the only game I trust you in.
Yeah.
It's the only game I trust you in, because if you ever play that game with Roy, he truly means it. He is totally fine winning together. Like I've never played a game where he screwed me over in that game. When every time he's like, "If you do this, we'll do this," and it happens. So, but I always love, and it hurts too at the same time. But like Game of Thrones and other games where I'm like, "I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking you. Like, let's go do this," and then I'm totally attacking that person, because that's the Game of Thrones. You have to eventually betray somebody to get the castles.
And if they think you're attacking them, then they're going to be defensive. And if you can make it so that they're supporting or getting more power in that location, you'll have an advantage. So literally,
and that's what you do.
Table talk and negotiation is part of the game.
And the first time you don't attack, and so then they're like, "Oh, well, I put up defense, and you were telling the truth." Okay, and so the next time you say, "Hey, I'm not going to attack you," that's when you attack, and that's because you built that trust. And you never do it the first time. You make them think you're going to do it, but you don't do it. And so they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's especially like my group back in Arkansas, I was always the sucker. Like they'd always be like, hey, man, I'm not going to do this. All right, sure. And then anyway, I love that game.
So speaking of that, how can proper table talk help you gain an edge in a board game?
Ooh.
Because I mean, there's so many different ways, which it makes it kind of crazy. And I think it's an aspect of board gaming that people don't necessarily talk about much, especially since we play a lot of those area control games and things like that. The negotiation in those, which is not necessarily written into the rule book, but just the talking about who's winning, who's losing, who's the biggest threat at the table, is like a huge part of the game. And if you can make yourself like actually be doing good in the game, but then appear to not be doing good in the game, and everybody else thinks you're not doing good, that's like a huge boon to you. If they have their eyes focused on that person over there, Rob's got all the resources, Rob's got all the planets, Rob's gonna score this many points, but not saying that, oh, I'm gonna score this many points. It can definitely help you if people are not gonna jump on you and end up jumping on your opponent instead. So. And then sometimes you just have to work together. Like it's like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you do that. Let's work together to make this happen. And you have to be able to make the thing happen. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Everything you said, and plus the things we've said in the past.
Yeah.
I think it can wreck you, and I think it can help you, but I think it helps the replayability of the game, because the game itself is not breaking you. It's your negotiating skills and other stuff.
Yeah, and I think that happens in a lot of multiplayer games. I listened to a podcast a while back about Commander Magic the Gathering, and they went through a whole thing about like how to play the other people, like not even your deck, not even the cards, but how to like play your opponents, you know, not necessarily just to beat them, but to just get them in the mindset that'll help you get to the win, you know. So it's kind of interesting to think about the game that way, especially in these games where the way people act and the way people react to you is very flexible, you know. You kind of want to be on people's good side, you know. And every game I play with Rob, I automatically start on his bad side. I'm sorry, Rob.
You've just I'm a scorned woman. You've burnt me so many times, Roy. I'm just what
was it?
Just hurt.
We had a question like last week. I don't know if we even got to it. Maybe we did. But it was like, it was like, what's one game you wish your friends would forget so that you could teach it to them again? I just want to be like any social deduction game. If they just forgot all the social deduction games and I could play with them again, I would immediately win. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I don't trust you.
In real life? Come on.
I trust you in real life, but
not in a board game.
Not in the board games.
And you sometimes use that to your advantage because you're like, you talk about it on the podcast. Like, I'll play at games. I played Rising Sun at Cool Mini or Not Expo, and they were talking about how I'm not trustworthy because they heard it on the podcast.
Bro, you're not.
How I'm gonna break all the alliances. I didn't break all the alliances. Come on, guys.
But you do. They're outside of Cosmic Encounter. I've never played a negotiating game with you where you haven't gotten around and gotten the best of somebody or done something for your advantage and you left the group out.
I'm just trying to get the W in the game. Come on. I'm trying to play good.
Oh, you play good, but you play good and everybody else dies, and so I've just learned don't trust Roy.
Sometimes even to like the detriment of the party. Like when we're actually on the same team and we're actually supposed to be doing this stuff, you're like, no, don't trust Roy. I'm like, but there's no reason not to. There's nothing I've done. There's nothing I can do.
Still.
Don't trust Roy.
Still. And always and forever, don't trust Roy.
It's not true, guys. I'm on your team. Don't listen to Rob. Anyway, cool. So do you have any specific tips on how someone can talk about things and negotiate in games, especially if someone's like maybe a little bit quieter in a game or isn't necessarily as outgoing?
Sure. If you're not very outgoing and stuff, I understand it's going to be difficult and stuff for you to talk about, to negotiate things. Yeah. I say point out the obvious. Mm-hmm. Like if you're playing a game and somebody, like for example, like a Cash and Guns, right? And somebody has the most money, and like let's say for whatever reason people are picking on you, right? And the people are always voting on you. It's not a bad idea to point out something else about an opponent. That's truth. That's like they're winning the game. So as much as you're shooting me, like they're winning the game. Because I know for a lot of people that are introverts, they want to play the games maybe with extroverts, but they just don't want that confrontation per se. Just try little stuff. And if anything, just try small talk. Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Sometimes being a quiet person depending on the game can be super helpful, So sometimes not being the loud person in the game, because sometimes you draw unwanted attention if you're too loud or too crazy. Like in any social deduction game, people automatically think me and Rob are something because we're super into it and we're super saying the things. They're like, they're covering up something. No, this is like how we are all the time. But sometimes just hiding in the shadows and being quiet can be just as good as the table talk. And then probably like the way you say things is really important too. Like sometimes if you're like, don't shoot me, attack them, they have the most money, is not as helpful as saying, well, they've done really well like the last 3 rounds. Yeah. Like, they've grabbed a lot of the $20 bills the last 3 rounds. And just plant that seed as opposed to going as hard as I normally do and pointing somebody out and accusing them. Then everybody shoots me. Just state the obvious, and sometimes it can help you out, even if it's
also
more
games,
mild, calm down tone,
Well, not even social deduction games, but like a game like Rising Sun or like a game like Thief. Where like negotiation, or a game of like Game of Thrones. But also typically if you're really not comfortable talking to other people for whatever reason, and everybody's unique, everybody is awesome, then I recommend don't play a lot of those big negotiation games. But if you're not comfortable with social deduction and other stuff, I would just try simple small talk. Hi, I'm Rob. How are you doing? I'm great. I'm so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Just simple small talk. Because at the end of the day, we're just playing a game and we're just making friends. So it's just like, it doesn't always have to be some type of tactic or strategy or anything. Just, try to expand yourself a little bit. So anyway.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes being too quiet, depending on those negotiation games, could actually hinder you a lot. Like if you're playing Cosmic Encounter and people just overlook you to ally, without speaking up, you could be at a big disadvantage. I've played games where certain players just never tried to get in on the ally stuff, never tried to say one way or the other, and just rode through the game, not really being able to colonize much because they weren't interacting with the other players. So some games like that can be hard, especially if you have that social anxiety or just not as boisterous, I guess, as some other people. So, and hopefully that doesn't ruin the game for other people, because I know I'm one of those loud people. I try to be conscientious, and a lot of times when I've seen people be like, "Dude, why aren't you getting on this? What's going on, man? Come on, you should be." He's like, but it's like, man, you should join in. Let's do this. So I don't know.
I will say this though, before we move on, and this is not slight or anything like that. Just some people don't like certain things.
Yeah.
But if you don't like being betrayed, or if you struggle with trust, like genuinely, like if we were to play Game of Thrones and I attack you when I say I don't attack you, and that's going to ruin your sight of me as a person.
Or you mean just take it out of the game, like what happened in the game,
like well, you know, like I played games with people where like you're playing a backstabbing game, and after that they were just like, I'd rather not. Just, I can't believe you did that. They almost made it such a big deal where they were like, if you were going to do that to me in a game, how are you going to treat me in life and stuff? So I'm just saying, like,
that's not the same thing. It's
not the same thing.
Part of the game too.
Some people struggle with that, and they struggle with being able to separate those things. Don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah,
know your limits. Know who you are as a person. It's okay if you don't play the game. Like, there are some amazing Euro games that people absolutely love, like Terra Mystica. I'll never play it. I will go crazy if I play that game. I can't. It's one of the reasons why I don't like Xia. Like, the sitting there and the waiting will drive me nuts. That's one of the reasons why I play co-op games and social deduction games, because I need to be doing something. If I'm sitting down doing nothing, I absolutely hate it. Like, it's just, I'm like boiling on the inside, and so I need games that are in. So know yourself as a person. Like, I have some friends back in Arkansas that I will never play like Battlestar Galactica with ever again. Like, had a bad experience. And even Mansions of Madness, like an Insane card came out. Not my fault. Like, an Insane card came out, but just know who you are as a person, and don't take it, don't try to be too upset about it. Just have fun. It's a board game, and if you realize after playing that game that that's too much, then just don't play that game anymore. And also, if somebody's bothering you and being a jerk, you're like, hey, tell them to stop it. Tell them to chill out.
That's one of the things that I've liked about, like, it's kind of funny because sometimes I gravitate towards the people that this works with, but, like, me and you can yell at each other in a game and be like, oh, man, you did this. I can't believe you did that, blah, blah, blah.
The very first time we met each other, we did that.
Yelling at the game.
Within 5 minutes, we're yelling at each other.
And then you get away from the game, and it's like, okay, cool, awesome. That was so much fun. Can't you believe that happened? That was so crazy. Like,
that's exactly what we did.
Don't have to take it serious, So
no, but that's also your personality and my personality.
Right.
Like, we're okay with that. There's some people that don't like to be yelled at. Like, one of my younger brothers, you don't yell at him.
Yeah.
Even in a game, he just does not like to be yelled at all. He will shut down. He won't do anything.
And I think sometimes there's life situations that could affect that, so you got to be careful with people sometimes,
Yes. Yeah, know your audience and stuff like that. And if you're outgoing and crazy, and it's not just outgoing, but if you're loud, like somebody like Roy and I, don't make other people uncomfortable. Like, if you're noticing that it's starting to happen, like, just chill out.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever been ganged up on
in
a gang because of
all the
tabletop?
time? Right now, I'm not even playing a game, and there's people somehow thinking about ganging up on me in the next game we play. All because I talk a lot, because I'm loud, and especially if I ever leave the table. Some of my favorite game stories ever is because I literally went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I came back, I was wrecked just because I went to the bathroom. So I get ganged up all the time, and typically people that talk a lot typically get attacked more than others because other people feel comfortable. Well, I need to pick somebody, and you're the loud guy, so I'll just pick you.
What do you think about like being ganged up on when you're winning versus being ganged up on when you're losing? Like for me, I literally don't mind at all if like I'm winning the game and people are trying to stop me from winning the game. It makes sense. It's very good strategy. But if like I'm down in the dumps and doing bad in the game, like
and they're still just coming after you,
just doing bad in the game, and by them attacking me, it's just hurting both of us for no reason. That can be a little bit rough, you know.
Yeah, that is a little rough.
It's like rubbing the salt in the wound almost.
Well, and it's also like why? Like you're not getting anything unless, like, let's say you're playing an area control game and they just need your area for points. That makes sense.
But that makes sense.
But if it's not something that makes sense and you're literally just attacking somebody to attack somebody just because, it's like, all right, come on, man. Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. Like if I'm winning, I expect it, or even if I'm close to winning, you know, I expect it, and I always expect it at first. Because I am loud. But after the game goes on, if I'm clearly in last place and not going to win the game and you're still jumping on me, it's like, okay, one, it annoys me because you're making a bad strategy. Like, why would you not focus more on winning? Why are you focused on beating the loser down? And two, it's just like, it is rubbing salt in the wound.
Have you ever gotten heated during table talk and board games?
Oh, yeah.
Rob, never. That would happen.
But I've calmed down. I've calmed down a lot.
What was it? We were playing Twilight Imperium and chat was like, Rob's salty.
Oh, bro. But you lied to me. And I took that very personal. And I shouldn't have taken that personal, but you straight up lied to me. I was like, all right. I wasted a whole turn just sitting there because that's a long game too where you just sit and wait. I hate analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. And I went through a whole round of analysis paralysis for my friend and co-host Roy Canada. And he did exactly the opposite of what he said he was going to do. It broke my heart. I was just done. After that, I ended up attacking Mark Kale's homeworld, and I left.
And I had to leave anyway.
I mean, I did, but I was just like, oh, that hurt so bad. I mean, I try not to get as worked up anymore. Yeah, you know who will hurt my feelings the most? The people that I really love or the people I really care about. Like, Roy will hurt my feelings because, like, I expect more from Roy. But like somebody that I don't know, I don't care. Like I don't know you, right? Like, okay, like you screwed me over, sure. I don't know you. But if Roy, and this is why I don't trust Roy, and I fall for it every time. But if I tell Roy, I'm going left, don't go left, right? And he's like, all right, I got you. I'm gonna go right, you go left. And then he goes left before me. It's like, oh, bro, screw you, man. Like I trusted you.
But when it's like. The obvious best strategy was to go left right here. But if I can get him to think this or that...
I won't go left. It hurts my feelings that you don't listen. I think our relationship counselor, and they constantly tell us we need to work on our communication because I'm hurt. I'm just like...
We have great communication. I talk to you. I tell you to do this thing because it'll benefit me if you do it this way. And then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not following my end of the bargain because it benefits me more in this game that we're currently playing. So to do it this way. And now I've reinforced that thing so it makes it even worse for you. And now you have to rethink your whole strategy. I'm sorry, but this is really good for me. Thank you for not doing that other thing because that would have been bad for me.
Yeah. So if you ever play a game with Roy and he suggests something, if there's any way that it's going to benefit him, don't do it.
He might take it. He'll probably take it.
Well, because... if they do it, you know something that's coming that's going to benefit you even more. It just, I don't know.
So
and I still play with them, and I still do the show with them. I mean, I still
Rising Sun has the whole betray action and stuff like that, but every single time I've done the betray action in Rising Sun, I never hurt the person I'm allied with. And normally I talk to them, I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to do betray. And they're like, okay, who are you going to take out?
Yeah, but there's a benefit for that in that game. Like, it's not as bad.
Yeah, it
like the betray in Rising Sun to me is not really a betray.
The card is literally called betray, but you can literally just not betray at all, you know? You don't. I mean, you're breaking the alliance. You're doing all these other things, but normally it happens during the end of the round, and then
after you've gotten the benefits of the alliance,
taking out stuff that's just only going to help you but not hurt your allies. So it's like that card should just be called something different. But good times. Good times. What are some games where table talk is really important?
games where table talk is very important. I think if you're playing a strategy game,
Yeah.
it's very. I mean, let's just go ahead and say social deduction, all that stuff. It's necessary. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, it's just part of the game. But I think strategy games, it's very important. And then of course co-op games. If we're working together, and I shouldn't have to say that, but there are a lot of times, especially when I introduce new people to gaming, or if I'll try to play a co-op game with you, and I tell you what I'm doing, and I'm like, hey, all right, what are you gonna do? And there's no talk, no communication. It's like, It's a co-op game because the game naturally is hard. We need to work together as a team to try to beat the game. Like, what's going on? So for me, I would say strategy and co-op games outside of social deduction and party games. Because those are a must.
Yeah, for sure. I think table talk is crazy in like those free for all battle games. Like when we play HeroClix or something like that. It goes crazy because like if you're
you
just
gonna
doing
bring any of that down to Florida?
Yeah. I shot a video, my video for Throat Punch Lunch, which is coming up tomorrow. I shot with HeroClix. I was like, I got to get the HeroClix back out and look at them and do that or whatever. So I'm bringing a few of my HeroClix guys or whatever. I have a box of HeroClix that is literally just a bunch of the popular characters. So I'm like, these are people everybody knows. And that's what I like to play with, where we just grab some of those and pick whatever. I'm bringing a couple maps and a bunch of dice. And there's several other contributors that are going that were interested in HeroClix too. I have so many people that want to play games with me. I hope I get to play games with everybody.
If Roy is full of those games, I'll be the guy in the corner by myself, and you can pity party play a game with me. That'd be fine.
Just go up to him and accidentally call him Roy, though, because he loves that.
Please don't.
Say, hey, Roy.
Even if I know it's a joke, I'd still like.
It's too soon. The wound's too fresh.
Bro, I can't tell you how bad that really was. Like that hurt so much when that happened. And he was like, "Oh, Roy, so
I'm
bad."
Glad Isaac doesn't listen to the podcast because we talk about it every week.
Yeah.
So funny.
It's like if I was Timothy. It's like if I was Timothy Gay, and Eric Lang was like, "Oh, Scott, you're my favorite." Like, no, I'm Timothy. You know that. Like, Yeah. Anyway.
Awesome. So, overall, what do you think the best part of tabletop and discussion during the game is?
And for me, it helps build relationships.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. Like, I never would have gotten to know Roy if I didn't play that game and we didn't do some table talk, because we hit it off.
Yeah.
And so for me, it just helps me build relationships, and it's also a good way for me to gauge people out. Like, if I'm playing a game and you're not really talking, I'm going to think, okay, you're more quiet, reserved, introvert type of person. Like, okay, like don't come at them strong if I talk to them outside of the game. Or if I see somebody who's like really loud and boisterous and has, is very energetic, I might be like, hey, okay, hey, this is somebody I can just like, hey man, like just jump into conversation. Not everybody just wants to just talk with you. And so I like it because it's a way for me to gauge a person and have fun and get to know them. Even the introverts. I've made friends with a lot of introverts. Mm-hmm. And the problem with me, if you're an introvert and you become my friend, you typically become more of an extrovert in time. Just because I'm going to talk to you. I want to get to know you. I already know about my life. I don't need to tell you all about my life. I want to know you. I don't know who you are. I like to listen. So, like, tell me who you are. And so, like, we had some friends over like a month ago, and the wife, I think the whole time she was here, she said like 9 words. Super introvert. Husband, extreme opposite, extrovert. But by the end of the night, like, she was talking more and things like that. And when we met with them later, they're like, yeah, we had a lot of fun. It's just, it takes people time. So anyway, I'm sorry, I ramble.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely just that same thing, the social interaction and like getting to know people. I mean, it's just more fun when you play the game together, It's just like, let's play it together. We're playing a co-op, we work together and we talk through our problems and figure things out. And I mean, I don't want to alpha game in a game or anything like that. I want to hear everybody's ideas and like figure out what's the best thing to do all together. Or if we're playing a game where we're against each other, it's like, oh, let's figure out what's going on. And oh man, I hope you don't, like, I joke around and be like, oh man, I hope you don't do this or do that. And then it ends up happening. I'm like, I mean, I was serious. I hope that didn't happen. Oh well, I guess I messed up now. But it's just fun to be able to have that social interaction in these games, because you don't get to have that when you play. I mean, the talk in video games over the internet is terrible and terrifying. Yeah. So we definitely don't want it to be like that in board game. And it doesn't happen that way when you have that face-to-face interaction where you're actually looking at somebody. No one's insulting people that way, or hopefully not. If they are, then they should be reprimanded for that or talked to about it. But yeah, it's just fun to have like friendly banter and joke around as you play the game about the game itself. It can be a lot of fun, and I think talking those things out instead of just playing through the mechanics and moving the things around can really help those memories while you play the game of those epic moments. So
100% agree.
Nice. Awesome, guys. Well, I guess that's the end of our discussion. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We stream these Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. We want to say thank you so much to all of our amazing patrons. You guys are so great, and definitely help us continue to do the show. We're going to be trying to have more patrons come and join us on our D&D game. So if you're interested in that, make sure to email me at Epic Gaming Night. Because it'd be awesome to have more people on. James was amazing when he was on. It was a ton of fun, and we'll just have James back on if nobody else wants to jump in. So super great. Also, we have our Patron of the Week. Are you good for that, Rob?
Patron of the Week. This is kind of going.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, and it's also, I think we're going old school, because this is one of those, is it this or is it that names. Do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know who this person is?
I mean, I read their name, and it's.
But is it feminine or masculine?
I copied and pasted it.
But I could read it as X or Y. So I'm gonna go old school. Remember when I used to go old school? So listen, first of all, let's talk about our patrons. You guys are freaking amazing. I truly mean that. You guys are the absolute best, and we love you and we appreciate you so much. But I'm going to talk about this awesome, amazing, beautiful, strong person. Strong individual, smart, intelligent, strikingly, come on, I need to say something good. Strikingly gorgeous inside and out. This person, if they were a wood-scented cologne, they would be a red oak, mahogany, lustrous spring type scent. This person, if they were a cologne, this is the cologne you spray on you on your wedding day. It makes all the feels. It makes you feel great, makes you feel confident, makes you feel happy, makes you feel proud. I'm talking none other than the Danielle or Daniel, either way, Harris. D. Harris. I'm talking about D. Harris, everybody. The D. Harris clone. Harris, you are absolutely amazing. And we love you. Truly. We love you. We appreciate you. You are going to start our new branch. We'll probably do like an East Coast wood scent cologne factory in 2019. I know I've been talking to Roy and Matt about that. You know, maybe expanding and going West Coast later, but we definitely want to start doing our East Coast branding. And so, Harris, we're going to be in negotiations with you. We're going to reach out to you soon about a CEO position of that industry and of that factory. But we can't do what we do without you. And you're absolutely amazing, and love you so much. And man, you smell good. You smell like somebody I want to hang out with. You smell like my next best friend. And if I talk too much for you, just tell me to shut up, and I'll still love you anyway. And I'll probably listen to you, because you're freaking Harris. You are beautiful. We love you. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful night.
Daniel actually sent us an email and signed it Dan Harris. So obviously, female.
Dan, I didn't get that email.
I just looked it up.
Beautiful.
Like I remember
Heck,
reading
I'm
it.
gorgeous. I know I'm gorgeous, and so you're still beautiful, and it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna read this just because
Harris.
it's good. So Daniel said, I discovered your show about 3 months ago and wanted to let you guys know that I'm really digging it. You guys and Sam Healy seem to be the reviewers that I enjoy the most and enjoy the same games as me. I want to let you know that I became a patron today, and I'm hoping you guys are around a lot longer. That's super nice.
Well, we hope we're around a lot longer. I don't know if my wife hopes I'm around a lot longer, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing.
He also says, I also hope to run into you guys at Dice Tower Con, and I know you guys will be super busy, but if the opportunity exists to get into gaming with you, we would love to, or I would love to.
Bring it. I love to play a game with you. Even if it's a quick, simple game like Strike or something, I want to play with everybody. I'm just super excited about it. Dan, you are amazing. And what a great email. Thank you so much for reaching out.
Dan will love this episode because he also wants to know where he can get a copy of the scavenger hunt list.
Boom, it's coming.
It's coming, and we talked about it a bunch on this podcast. So
it is. I'm excited for the scavenger hunt. I think it's going to be silly and goofy, and it's just we wanted to do something silly to give out games and to hang out with our friends and just to do something. So looking forward to it. Dan, you're handsome, you're beautiful, you are gorgeous on the inside, and I'm excited to take a picture with you, and we're going to have a lot of fun at Dice Tower Con. And
if you see us at Dice Tower Con, and you listen to the podcast or you're a patron or anything like that, make sure to come and say hi to us.
And take awkward pictures of Roy when he's not looking. At least one. Only one an hour. You can't take 5 in a row.
We're literally just people talking about board games in our garage and in our basement, just having a good time with you guys. So definitely come up and say hi. We definitely would love to meet you. That's the reason we do this.
Only knew how true that was, everybody.
That's literally the reason that we do this, because we want to hang out and make relationships with you guys. So yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, make sure to go to patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. It helps us continue to do the show. But everybody's been great. Thanks, everybody in chat. You've been awesome.
Kids on Bikes, chat, you're amazing as always. Man, it was good to see Netters, man. We haven't seen Netters in a minute.
I seen Netters on Favorite Game Friday. Where you at?
I'm talking about in chat.
I know.
It's been a while since she's been in chat. It's always good to see all the crew and everybody in chat. And Ambi was on the show from the get-go with us, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
and of course,
we're gonna hang out with Ambi all next week. So
I almost want to ask her to play an 18xx game. I don't know if I could handle it.
I bet she's bringing some. I think she's teaching other people.
I don't know if my brain could handle it.
Her husband's really good at teaching games.
They're so good, though, and they are so smart.
I mean, you'll lose.
She was telling me last time that she knew within the first round that she lost the game.
That sounds excruciating to me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hi. Oh, Mark Kale, yeah. Thanks, Mark, for being on the show. Blah blah blah. Mark Kale. Blah blah blah.
Okay, I'm hanging up now.
Mark Kale's great.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace, everybody. We love you guys.
Peace.